Hello everyone, this is Samiran Mehti, Senior Lecturer in Computer Engineering Department from Praveen Patil Polytechnic. I hope you guys are enjoying ACN lectures as well as practicals. Today I am about to upload the fifth practical for Advanced Computer Network. The title for the same is DNS configuration using any tool, and the tool we'll use is Cisco Packet Tracer. But before going to the configuration of DNS, let us focus on the theory aspect of DNS. So a DNS server is a computer server that contains a database of public IP addresses and their respective host names, and in most cases serves to resolve or translate those names to IP addresses as requested. Now what they are trying to convey is, for example, we have a domain name as www.google.com, right? So domain name is simpler for a user to understand, but this is not the case with machines. They are comfortable with the corresponding domain name's IP address. For example, www.google.com is domain name for google.com, but for example its IP address is 192.168.1.0. So whenever we are writing www.google.com, it will translate this host name or this domain name to its respective or corresponding IP address, that is 192.168.1.0, because machines are comfortable with IP addresses and not with host names or domain names. But it is contrary to the users, because users are more comfortable with domain names or host names rather than IP addresses. So translation has to be done from host name to IP addresses for machines and from IP addresses to host name for users. I hope the point is clear. So this was it regarding the theory of DNS. Now we'll focus on the configuration aspect. Okay. So for that we require one client as well as server. So firstly, I'll take one client. This will function as a client, and I'll require one server. This will work as a server. And if you guys know, to connect client to server, we require switches, right? So I'll take one switch. That's it, right? So now I'll connect all these devices with the connecting wires from here to here, and from switch to server. There is no sort of requirement of internet, so we won't be going for router. Switch is enough to connect client to server. Now let us label it. So let the IP address for the server be 192.168.1.1, and let the IP address for the PC be 1.2. Fine. So this will work as an IP address for the client, and this will work as an IP address for the server. Fine. So now going to the server, and we are supposed to set its IP address. So the IP address for the server is 192.168.1.1. Subnet mask, since it is a class C address, so subnet mask is triple times 255.0. We won't be using default gateway. Instead, we'll be using DNS, because this is the configuration of DNS. And let the DNS server use 192.168.1.1, right? So that was it regarding server configuration. Coming to PC, we are supposed to assign it an IP address. So the IP address for PC is 192.168.1.2. Again subnet mask as it is, and DNS server will be 192.168.1.1, right? So this was it, and now let us check whether it is able to reach the particular IP address or not. And to check whether it is reachable or not, go for ping command. I hope everyone knows what is a ping command, because we have covered it in the first chapter. And let us check. So as you can see, it is replying. So in the sense, it is being connected to 192.168.1.1. Now let us focus on the DNS aspect. So for that, you should go to services, and we'll be using DNS. Here it is, and we'll on it. And for example, you could use any name or domain, www.india.com, right? And we have to use IP address as well, because if you remember, DNS translates host names or domain names to IP address and vice versa, right? So we'll add it, india.com and 192.168.1.1. So we have successfully added. Now go to HTTP, and you could use any one of these. For example, I use index.html, and we have a lot of things over here, but for simplicity, we'll erase it, and we'll write India is a great country, right? So let's save it, and let us check whether it is working or not. So if I go here, trying to connect, excuse me, I'm trying to connect, what I'm trying to connect, I'm supposed to go to web browser, and yes, I have come to the web browser of the PC. Now if I write either of them, if I write 192.168.1.1, it should reply India is a great country, or www.india.com, again it should reply the same thing, www.india.com, right? Yes, that it is, India is a great country. And if I write the IP address, so it should again reply India is a great country. So let us check, 92.168.1.1, is it replying? Yes, it is replying. So in the sense, we have successfully configured DNS configuration using Cisco Packet Tracer. I'll soon upload the 6th practical. Thank you for watching the video. Take care. Bye.